Hey guys, DC Network here, coming at you with another video. While Cartoon Network's presence at the Annecy Film Festival was a bit lackluster this year outside of the Steven Universe Lars of the Stars announcement, card above to that video if you don't know what I'm talking about, Adult Swim's presence, however, was pretty big this year at the Annecy Film Festival. There were a lot of new series and returning shows announced for Adult Swim that I wanted to touch on here today in this video. There's three that I really want to focus in on, but just to give you a quick rundown of some of the other series that were announced, we got the announcement of Mr. Miracle, which is an adult animated adaptation coming from Warner Brothers Animation and DC Studios. It's based off of the DC comic book series. Cool that we're going to get an adult superhero show. The one note on this one is there is no network known yet for it, so this might be sold to someone like Amazon Prime Video since they already have Batman Cape Crusader, or maybe someone else will come in and buy the rights to this series. There's another new series coming from Warner Brothers Animation and Hanna-Barbera Studios Europe called Hit Squad. It's apparently an adult espionage action comedy, which sounds rather intriguing to me, but apparently it's a puppet show, which kind of makes me lose interest in this show. It's set in 1990s London and follows an international team of talented spies as they battle the murky world of hidden foes and dangerous villains. We also have a show called Smalls, and by the way, I'm getting all this from Scene Schedules on Twitter, so quick shout out to them for compiling all this information. But apparently Smalls is going to be a bunch of standalone shorts, and some of the episodes will be little series, so it seems like this is going to be really a show where they try to explore different mediums and just see what works and fits into Adult Swim, which I guess is rather interesting. It's not really something that is catching my eye or intriguing to me. There's also a series called Keeping Up with the Jonases. It got picked up for 10 half-hour episodes. Apparently this show will chronicle the Newberry family of Dallas as they try to keep up with their staggeringly wealthy neighbors, including Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, who lives next door. Again, not something that really is my cup of tea, but I wanted to mention this here as this is one of the new series that was announced. However, the three shows that I wanted to highlight here, which I think are rather large for their own distinctively different reasons, is number one, Ninja Kamui. Ninja Kamui, if you guys don't know, is an anime that came out last year. It's an Adult Swim original series made by Warner Brothers Animation. I checked it out. I wasn't a huge fan of it. I believe I got maybe 2 or 3 episodes into the series before I fell off of it, but nevertheless, it's been announced that Ninja Kamui has been renewed for 2 additional seasons. I think this is pretty massive, as I know that Ninja Kamui was a rather popular show, and it's good to see that Warner Brothers Discovery is going to continue it. Obviously, I don't know exactly how the story ends of the series because I only watched the first 3 or so episodes, but it's good to see that they're taking a fan favorite series like this and making more of it in the future for Adult Swim. The next show I wanted to touch on is a brand new special event that's being worked on for Adult Swim called The Elephant. This one is really interesting to me for a couple of reasons. So apparently it's going to have 3 different acts that are overseen by different creators from Cartoon Network without any of them knowing anything of what the other person is doing. So the 3 sets we have here for these 3 arcs is number 1, we have Rebecca Sugar and Ian Jones-Cordy working together to make an arc of this show. Rebecca Sugar obviously is the creator of Steven Universe. Ian Jones-Cordy is the creator of OKKO Let's Be Heroes, the 2 of which are married, so it's interesting to see that they're going to be working together on the first act of this special event, The Elephant. The second of which is Pendleton Ward, which obviously he's the creator of Adventure Time. Cool to see that he's going to be joining this project. And the last person is Patrick McHale, who is the creator of Over the Garden Wall. So it's really fascinating to see that they're taking 3 or rather 4 creators to work on these 3 separate arcs, all of whom worked on some rather popular series and successful shows from Cartoon Network's past. Like obviously Steven Universe was massive. OKKO Let's Be Her, while I wouldn't say is a massive series, I do know it has a huge following and a rather large fan base online. I see the comments on my videos, everyone asking when is OKKO coming back. Ian Jones-Cordy created a low-key, really successful series. It's not on the level of something like Steven Universe or even Adventure Time, but it's still something that was really successful and a show that people want to see return. Obviously, I mentioned Adventure Time already. Pendleton Ward made it. We don't really need to say much about Adventure Time. It's Adventure Time. It's a absolutely massive franchise for Cartoon Network. And lastly, Patrick McHale is probably one of the more interesting ones to me here. He worked on Over the Garden Wall, which obviously was a series that was meant to be a mini-series. It only had 10 episodes, never came back for anything more than that, but it was probably one of the best animated projects to come out of Cartoon Network in the 2010s. It was just absolutely phenomenal. I didn't even know he was still with Cartoon Network. I don't know what he's been working on since Over the Garden Wall, but it's fascinating to see this idea of each of these creators, or the pair of creators in Ian Jones Cordy and Rebecca Sugar, are working on an act of a show, a special event. It's probably going to be maybe like a 40-minute TV special. Each of them are working on an act of it, but they're not going to know what the other person's working on, which is just fascinating to see. It's going to be really cool to see how this story intertwines between each arc, given that they don't know what's happening in the prior arc or the arc that comes after that. They're really being left in the dark and blindsided by what exactly they're supposed to be doing in this special event. It's a really cool idea, and I'm really curious to see how this works out. I will probably be checking this one out because, again, it's just an awesome idea, and the people who are attached to this project are all fantastic creators in their own right, so I'm very curious to see what this show turns into. Now, the third and final series that I really wanted to highlight here, or maybe I should say the third and fourth series, because both of these are coming from Genndy Tartakovsky, and both of them got announcements here at the Annecy Film Festival for animation. The first of which is Heist Safari, which obviously was a series that got announced last year at the Annecy Film Festival. We have an image of it this year, which it's really early on, it would seem, because the only characters that are actually colored in are the three Frog brothers that we're going to be following in this show. Heist Safari is being described as a high-octane action comedy from Genndy Tartakovsky about three Frog brothers who rob a bank. It's in development for Adult Swim, as we all know from last year, and the quote we have here is, "It seems simple enough, but the execution is special as expletive." It's all blurred out, but you can use your imagination there. Yeah, this show's coming to Adult Swim. It's going to be rather interesting to see because it's supposed to be all animal themed, right? The three Frog brothers are the ones who are robbing the bank. I believe the police, if I remember correctly from last year, they're supposed to be wildebeest. So this is a series that I think is going to be rather fun and rather interesting. It's a different style of show for Genndy. Obviously, Genndy's worked on Samurai Jack, which is a bit more serious. Dexter's Laboratory. He's worked on, obviously, Hotel Transylvania over at Sony, but with Cartoon Network, Symbiotic Titan. Again, a more serious show. Star Wars The 2D Clone Wars, again, more serious. This is really the first time he's making something that's really more comedic and comedy-oriented, that's meant for adult audiences. I know he has his new movie Fix coming out on Netflix later this year, but this is the first series he's making in that vein, so I'm very curious to see how this turns out here. And then the last show that's a little bit of a bonus, I guess you could say, is Primal was mentioned here at the Annecy Film Festival. All that was said is Primal Season 3 is coming in 2026. Nothing more was said about it, which is a little bit disappointing given that we don't know who exactly this season is going to be following, what the plot's going to be. Is it going to be following, Spear and Mira's daughter? Is it going to be following a brand new cast of characters? We really don't know, and I really do wish we got a little more details here about Primal Season 3. That's the one thing with this year's Annecy Film Festival for both Cartoon Network and Adult Swim for that matter, and we'll talk about Cartoon Network as a whole in another video on Monday. I feel like this year, both Cartoon Network and Adult Swim, they didn't really give that many new details about their upcoming shows and what they've had announced in the past, or even the stuff they've announced this year. Like, it's really just kind of crickets for a lot of shows, and I get into this further with the Cartoon Network video that you'll see on Monday, but it's just rather disappointing for me to be seeing that, yeah, you have a lot of interesting and really unique and cool ideas coming in these different projects, but you're really not telling us much about them for the majority of these shows. Like, we really aren't getting that many new details about the shows that were announced last year, which is, again, disappointing, because aren't you supposed to be hyping up these shows and trying to market them and get people to watch them? By giving us these little details here and there, that's not really doing that. It's kind of just breadcrumbing us to hold us over until the shows actually come out. It'd be nice if they actually hyped up and marketed their series more, but hey, that's how Cartoon Network's been for the past decade or so. Anyways, let me know in the comments section below what you guys think about all this. What do you guys think about the plethora of series that were announced for Adult Swim that we discussed in this video? Are you excited for Heist Safari, Primal Season 3, Ninja Kamui's second and third season? Are you intrigued by The Elephant like I am, or was there another series here that grasped your attention? Let me know down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from DC Network. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.